All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on this beautiful planet. Welcome to the Inner Circle live pre-New York session. I'm your host for this morning's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. And we're definitely happy and grateful for all of you being here with us this morning as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we can take advantage of in the Forex market. So without further ado, let's make sure that we're locked in, turn off any and all distractions, grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage in what is to be a very busy day. So if everybody can hear me loud and clear, do me a huge favor, drop me a one in the chat, and we can get started with this session. All right, and I see you, Benit. Okay, appreciate it. All right, let's go. So everybody's hearing me. Let's get going. So coming over to the Forex Factory, starting out, we want to go back and take a look. Yesterday, the United States, the CPI report came out month over month and year over year for the core. So the core CPI came through a little bit hot, right? 0.2% was expected, came in at 0.3. So this is going to be interesting as we head into the Fed's decision next week in regards to interest rate hikes. A lot of people are thinking they may possibly pause for this session and then maybe raise rates one more time. So that's still up in the air. We'll continue to, as they say, be data dependent. So we know the core CPI is the change in the price of goods and services purchased by consumers, excluding food and energy, because we know that that could be volatile, right? So it excludes the food and energy, gives us a lot cleaner look at the overall CPI number. So 0.3% on a forecast of 0.2. All right. And then we had last night the employment change for Australia. The projected was 25.4, and it came through at 64.9. The unemployment rate stayed steady at 3.7. Still some downward pressure on some of those Aussie pairs, to say the least. So we'll take a look at some of those. And then in Europe today, the Eurozone, the ECB, right? We've got a rate decision coming up. And we see here that the forecast for its factory is for them to hold at 4.25%. So we will see what happens. This is going to be quite interesting for pretty much all the central banks as we move deeper into the fall. We know that the goal for your central banks is to get the inflation rate back down to that 2% target, and they are working diligently to do that. But there's so many variables that they have to account for. So a lot of mixed data lately, but they're expected to hold at 4.25% based on this Forex factory report. We shall see. We know a lot is going to be said right in that monetary policy statement in regards to the forward guidance and what's next. So let's see what happens. If we get a surprise and they move it up to 4.5, or if they indeed hold at 4.25. So hey, if you're in trades, right, just always manage your trades versus some of those euro pairs that you may be involved in, because what's also going on today is at 8:30, we've got the core PPI for the United States, core retail sales and unemployment claim. So should be interesting for the US dollar. Okay. And then at 8:45, right, we got the euro, we've got the rate statement coming out, we got the rate decision, and then at 8:45, we've got the press conference. So it is going to be a busy day. If you are down on those lower time frames, on those 5-minute charts, 1-minute charts trading, please be aware that all of this is going on today. Okay, and at 10 p.m. tonight, we've got news coming out of China, industrial production year over year, which is expected to come in at 3.9. We'll see if it meets forecast or if it comes in below. So a lot of stuff going on the first half of today. Okay, so please be aware of that. Like I said, especially if you're down on those lower time frames trading. Okay, all right. Sometimes, right, if you're day trading, sometimes you have days where it may just be best not to trade. Right, to not take a position is a position. Right, so continue to be patient. Swing trading, right? Swing trading, a lot of times it's going to absorb any type of volatility, because you've got larger stops, larger swings. A lot of times you're going to absorb whatever price action that occurs during those fundamental announcements, reports, and data. A lot of times you're going to absorb that. You're trading a lot smaller. You're going to absorb those moves, because a lot of times when you're in the right direction, maybe you get a correction and then a continuation based on fundamental data. But oftentimes, especially if you're trading with the trend, it'll push price in that direction anyway, just at a faster rate. So that's that. If we go over to trading economics, we see here again, front page, right? That's big. ECB to decide whether the hike rates are paused. And then we see that European shares are slightly down ahead of the ECB decision. We know that, okay? We know that's going to happen, right? Some uncertainty out there, right, surrounding this decision today. So that's it. That's the big news, mainly coming out of the Eurozone and the United States today. Any questions on anything that we covered fundamentally?
No.
All right. There's that. So I just hope that everybody, especially from that swing trading perspective, which is primarily what we do, how all of this comes together, how it flows. Okay. So let's go over and take a look at the DXY. We know for the most part that it has been bullish, and we're pushing pretty high, right? On the DXY, we're moving a little sideways here. But if we come down to the 4, you can see on the 4-hour wave, right, that we've hit that 50%. We took off. That's a huge bullish candlestick there, right? Then it's just been moving up ever since. But you can see how we're kind of just a little bit range bound sideways, because we've got news coming. So overall, the dollar's been bullish, moving sideways right now. Any questions on the DXY? Okay, we'll definitely have a catalyst today. See what direction the market wants to move.
No.
All right. No. All right. We're all good. Ryan, good morning, sir.
Good morning, bro.
Doing all right?
Yes, sir. I am, man. Glad to be here, dude. How are you?
Oh, man. Doing great. We're moving through September, midway through the month already, moving into October. I love the markets around this time. So looking forward to getting that volatility back for the summer. But the amazing thing is, hey, the waves have been moving for us. So it's good. We'll just see them move a little bit faster now.
The waves have been rolling, man. Absolutely, dude. I'm excited to see what what's the hold for sure.
Yep. So we'll see what happens. Come that 8 o'clock hour. Pull that box to the left. 1 second. Oops, too far now. Yep. You on that level? You're right. All right. You're exactly right. You are on it. So let's see what happens with it. Let's see what happens with thanks for bringing that up. Let's see what happens with the data today, right? See if we get pushed out of that range, either direction. Right? Yeah, I seeing it. That's good. You've been putting in the work. You've been putting in the work, and a lot of you are putting in the work. That's really, really good, right? All of a sudden, when you get it, you got it. Things become slow motion, and once you see it, you're going to continue to see it. So great work. The dialogue in the chat and the Discord has been awesome. Posting the charts is awesome. Get the repetition. That's why we're here. So that's the DXY. Let's go into some charts here. I want to take a look at this Amazon, everybody. We hadn't looked at it in a while since we looked at the setup and the pullback and things like that. But look at this move. All right. Just goes to show you, right? Asset class doesn't matter. Like, look at this, right? How we drew it up and we got the pullback right to that 61.8 up against that 131.88 daily support. And yeah, we are rocking and rolling, right? On that Amazon trade, right? So we got that ABCD wave going. Okay. So you can see how there's times where, hey, we don't get that deep correction, right? But it's still moving in waves, some shallow, some deep. And this is how you can set your trade plan around it, right? So, hey, we didn't get that deep correction there, but look at what we're getting here. Now that pulls back to our sweet spot. Take the mystery out of it. Okay, take the mystery out of it. Hey, does price, if I'm trading with the trend, does it come into my sweet spot? Okay? Based on my trade plan. This might not be your sweet spot based on your trade. Okay? But if this is your sweet spot, that's it. You want to play that. And you either put your stop below that A, or if you like it tight, you put it below that C. And you let it roll. All right. And you see it all the time on YouTube, folks. Oh, I got a 1,000 R trade. Oh my goodness, right? But what we teach, right? We find those all the time. Just depends on how wide you want your stop, okay, and how you want to manage your risk. But that's the ABCD way plan out on Amazon. Any questions on that? Just wanted to touch base on that quickly. Nope. All right. Jumping in on the Aussie CAD, right? Just continuing, right, to watch it play out. Just want to touch base on quick. And that overall move to the downside, right? So we're pausing a little bit now, okay, but ultimately we're still on track. Screen, a quick jumping all over the place. Moving my mouse too fast. Hold on one second. There we go. All right, we're still looking for that ABCD wave to play out. So we're moving sideways right now, but ultimately we look for that price to fall. So that is the Aussie CAD. Moving in and taking a look at our Aussie Swiss trade. That is kind of just taking its time, but that's okay. That's okay. No need to rush. We know from the weekly, we have an ABCD wave completion that played out. We hit a D extension and we are getting a reaction. So that is a weekly low. Should have been put that in there actually. That is there. So this is a weekly low. All right. And weekly, sorry. Blue. So that is a weekly swing low that has formed, and we have been pushing up every since. Okay. Slowly but surely, we're starting to get that momentum to move. Look at that. Okay, we're approaching that 57.71 level. It's a nice swing. You can see the ABCD wave playing out on the daily. Bang. Okay. Based on that wave off the daily, we got that pullback to 56.55. We're approaching 57.71, and D extension is just beyond that at 58.20. So we'll see if we continue to move in that direction. Of course, the way this looked for us on the 4-hour, hey, price was moving down as it approached that weekly D extension. And now we've got that reversal, right? We got price reversing, and we are slowly but surely moving towards that 4-hour 382. And as we look at the higher time frame, we're going to have some more potential to the upside on this. Okay, so just continue to let it play out. If you take it to the 382 and you get out, that's cool. And you just continue to watch the waves moving to the upside. Okay, right now that 80-20 is playing out. So patience pays. Okay, 145 pit bull, probably gonna get every bit of that 190 and possibly beyond that. This is the 1 hour. So on the setup that we had running, and we can see that we already completed one wave, and now we're in that second wave, moving up, right? So this was a a later trade is spotted once it broke trend line, spotted on the 1 hour, and then that's just following those fibs to the upside long. Okay, and then if you come here and you look, I've actually got my smart analytics running on this 15, and you can see, right, the wave moving up. Okay, it's the only thing with the smart analytics, right, is that focus on your capital fib. It runs fibs all over the place, so it can get a little crazy, but you can see that that is moving long. Any questions on the Aussie Swiss? So far, so good on that setup. Nope. All right, moving right along onto the Aussie yen. Okay, this one hasn't been as clean a move, as you see with some of those yen crosses, but it's starting to clean up good as the Aussie is gaining a little bit of momentum against some of the other currency pairs. So we can see that, right? We're long here. Okay, overall, this is where things got choppy, right? In that range. And it started to get a little sloppy. But at the end of the day, everybody, right? Especially against the yen, things are still moving in our ABCD way. Focus on developing that spatial intelligence to see through all the mess and to still see the way. Okay, to still see that way. So as you move down through the lower time frames, you can see how it is moving up, right? Okay. See how that is just moving up along that trend line, right? We come down to the 1 hour chart, and you can see how it's moving up towards the D. Here's a nice swing here on that Aussie yen, okay? And the beauty of it all, everybody, is we're looking at this from a technical perspective. But fundamentally, right, this is what's cool about fundamentals, is that fundamentally, somebody tell me, have we been bullish or bearish against the Japanese yen? We've been bullish. And we know that really anytime you hit the buy or sell button on the trade, right? If you're just a random person who knows nothing about trading, but you know, hey, I've got this MT4 or MT5 on my phone, and I can just hit the buy or sell button. Well, we know you do one or the other. That's 50-50. Okay, that's 50-50. You gain an edge in understanding fundamentals and technicals in the market. Okay, that's how you gain an edge. That's how you become the house in the casino. Okay, instead of the customer. All right, instead of the gambler. Well, if we know fundamentally, okay, that we're long against the yen, even on a trade like this Aussie yen has been kind of choppy as of late. Even if you have the worst entries ever, do you guys realize what we're showing you? That fundamentally, you could, if you use proper risk management and don't over leverage, you can have a horrible entry. But if you enter long based on what you know about the fundamentals of the game, you can win. Does everybody get what I'm saying? Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I see it coming through. Right? Because we're long, right? You could have entered, you could have gotten into this, you could have gotten into this trade and had a horrible entry. But if your risk management is good and you can hold trades and you're not over leveraged, you're up right now on this Aussie yen. As choppy as it's been in some areas, right? We got choppy, we broke out. Got choppy, we're breaking out. You would be long in this trade and you would be, right? Here's your 5-minute chart. Okay. That's moving long. All right. Hold on, everybody. Give me 1 second. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Back. Hold on. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay.
Yep.
All right. We're good. Okay. All right. My little microphone thing. Oh, there it is now. Okay. We're good. So this is long. Right. This is long. This is going long. So this is an 8-6 retracement. We're looking at a 118, right? Extension on that. And that's probably going to continue. Okay. Right. So hold on, my bad. That was my sub pips that I was running on that. But we're long. Okay. We're long. So that's that on the Aussie end on the 5-minute. Okay. So that changes that. That's a D extension. I had my fibs running off the low. So my apologies on that. That's 382. Probably gonna get that D extension. Moving into the Aussie NZD. Choppy, starting to push long though. Right? Starting to get some bullish momentum this week on the Aussie against some of the other currency pairs. And if we move down, move into the 4, where am I looking at this at this move? Oh, the 1 is starting to shape up. The 1 hour here. Okay. That's getting long. Okay. That's starting to get long. Right? We got a decent pullback. Right? It's choppy, but right. See the way we're starting to push long. Okay. On the Aussie NZD. And here, I had a fib running. Had it on the the 15. So I was looking at that. So here we are, right here. Okay. So we look for pullbacks and continuations on this play. Okay, pullbacks and continuations. That's looking long. That's your 15-minute look. Okay. That long wick, maybe. I would have to go back to see, what it possibly could have been. This indecision right here, probably. Right when you see that, a lot of times that's exactly what it is. Exactly what it was fundamentally. I have to go back and look at it. The bouncing back and forth, which is why trying to trade any type of fundamental event, like right when it comes out, is kind of tough, right? It's why people get wiped out. It's because look at that back and forth that happened as a result. So that's a tricky candle to try to get in on a position. But if you're trading your zones, right, and you're already in this trade based on trading your sweet spot, it doesn't matter, especially if your stop's below the A, because you're still able to maintain the position, and the trade idea is playing out. Right? So we've clearly broken a trend line, right? So we look for that to continue long. So just spot, right? Develop that space of intelligence. The only way you do it is to get the repetitions on the chart, right? So you can find them yourself. Okay. We always say that's where you truly gain the freedom, as a trader, is when you can spot these yourself and then gain the confidence to take the trades. All right. So that's the Aussie NZD. We've got waves starting to play out all over the place as we break through the monotony of the summer. Take a look at this Aussie dollar. So just continuing bearish, right? Here's the daily move. Okay. Now we pull back a bit to the 64.53 level. So overall bearish, and we're correct. Okay. Well, here we are. So this is the main move to the downside. This is your capital fib here. And then I'll run sub fibs off the C high. Okay. So this is what we want to watch out for as we watch the news play out today. Do we get back above this 64.53 level and push higher? Or do we stay below this level? And now we've got this sub fib where price is moving into the sweet spot for sure. But this is a key, right? This is a key level. That's 64.53. That's a weekly level. Does it hold as resistance through the news? And do we continue to move down at this point? Is this where we start to get the continuation? All right. On this Aussie dollar. So let's watch out for that. See how it plays out this morning with the dollar news coming out. Questions on the Aussie dollar? Overall, still bearish, right? Down retracement zone.
No, sir, no questions.
All right. Take a look at that on the 1. Okay. See where we're sitting on the 1. Just zooming in on the smaller wave. Okay. Same idea. That's where we are. All right. Let's move along and take a look at our CAD Swissy. Okay. Took a while, right? Took a while, but we're moving along off the lows, right? We said, hey, this is a major low, right? That we came into. Okay. All right. Look at that. And it's holding. Okay. And we know we've got some Canadian strength because of that oil price is moving up. Okay. It's benefiting from that. And so you can see how we've broken out of that zone, right? We had that range drawn up, and you've got a major breakout. So the chart that we posted was on the 1, that ABCD wave completed, right, for 60 pips, and we just continue to move long. All right. So we continue to move long, right? Some of you took profit on that setup. Some of you playing the longer game. You're holding the position. Well, we're in another ABCD wave sequence, right? So we look for any type of corrections to our sweet spot, trade your zones, whatever they may be, right? Based on your trade plan. That's important. Can't say it enough. Trade your zones. So do we get an 80-20, a pull buy, and then we continue? We'll see. Right? If you're in a longer term swing trade off those lows, you're not even worried about it. It's got a little ways to go for you. So it's just, hey, you already know it's going to pull back, but we look for higher highs and higher lows. Okay. For whatever your longer term upside target is, just let price continue to go there and maybe add to your positions if that's the game you like to play. If not, just continue to hold your swing. If you're playing it off the higher time frames. Any questions on the CAD Swissy? That one worked out pretty good.
No, sir, no questions. Been a
All
beautiful move.
Has been. I know you've been sitting in that right off the lows for a long time.
Yeah, man.
So, you have really, mastered, man, over the years. I'm just going to set it and go on about my business, and a lot of times that's the best way to handle it. If you guys can learn that now, while you might be trading, I don't know the size of everybody's accounts. It's neither here nor there. Everybody's different. If you're if you have a super small account and you're trading micros now, develop the discipline while you're trading micros. So once you get to a standard one day on a regular basis, you never have to go back from that. That's the goal. It's a maturation process. Okay. It happens in phases. Right. But oftentimes we do the opposite. We start off at the standard, we blow a bunch of accounts, and then we end up coming back, right, to having to trade a lot smaller. So just trying to shift the mindset of it. All right. Cat, yeah. Hey, we're still playing a long game. Okay? We're still playing a long game. We finally broke that 108.16. This market is amazing, right? We are looking, right, for the ABCD wave to play out. Right? Okay? We're looking for that to play out. Now, if you're not involved in it, we've got a ways to go. So that's why we use those lower time frames to say, well, if it's gonna continue to go and it still has over 500 pips left on the move, then I'm just looking for discounts on the lower time frames to get involved. Okay, to get involved. So you might not be in that space where I want to hold it for the long run. Maybe you need to take it, one setup at a time. This is on the 4. Okay. This is on the 4. I'm gonna take this off now because that crown is I'll leave it. But that's playing out, right? So we could just keep navigating down through the time frames and see, all right, well, what do I have? Well, gap got filled. Gap got filled. So what lower time frame can I go to maybe catch a wave? Well, on the 1, look, it's playing out. The market is fractal. The market is fractal. Okay, we teach you that from the very beginning. It's fractal. That's why we always say the time frame doesn't matter. Okay, so we're headed towards a D on the 1. Can I come down anywhere? 5 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe catch a pullback, whatever chart you trade. This 5 minutes is going kind of crazy. That's a crazy move there, right? But we're bouncing off that 382. We've got momentum. So we're looking for pullbacks and continuations that could potentially take us to that target of 900 pips. Any questions on the CAD?
No, sir.
Sir. And that's a great comment. It happens to all of us, right? It's enticing, to go down to those lower time frames. And what's even you could play a 5-minute chart and you could do the same thing that we're doing here, right? The wave is just gonna play out a little bit faster for you, but trying to just go in and catch a few pips and things like that. There's a lot of things that have to. You're dealing with a whole lot, on 1-minute charts and things like that. There's a whole lot that's going on that you have to deal with. First of all, you have to make sure that you have a broker with the right spreads, favorable spreads. I don't say right spreads. That's all depending on the broker, right? But you have to have spreads that are in your favor, so you can keep things tight. But if you have a career and you're working, oftentimes it's tough to get consistent that way. It's tough. So I like the swing trade. You discover who you are as a trader as you go through the process. So looking to continue long on this CAD yen. It is a lot less stressful. I will say that. Ryan, what you think about that?
Man, I get a great night of sleep every night.
That's true. That is true. You do. You do. Pips and percentages, the money will come. The money will come. Always tell folks, whatever side hustles you have to give, like I have no shame. If I was in a situation I had to go, recycle my cans, get a job stocking in the grocery store, in the evenings, whatever. If your goal is to grow your account drive Uber or Lyft or whatever, if your goal is to drive your account, you know, you just always keep the big picture in mind. You know, you want more resources so that you can allocate it to your trading account. Do what you have to do. Do what you have to do. You know. Ryan, can you still hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yacina, that might be on your end. They can still hear me. I take customer service calls. I can work 7 days, all 7 for all. Yeah, like I've never been one. You said what you don't. I, I've never been one that's been big on titles or anything. You know, your hustle is your hustle, man. You know, just wake up every day, be blessed, and put your best foot forward, no matter what you do. You see it still saying no sound. Yep, you see it. Well, she can't hear me, but I sent her a message. Maybe try to log out, log back in. So let's take a look at this Swiss yen quickly. Still bouncing around, and we haven't broken that 164 that I was looking for to the downside. So no play right now because it's just range, right? We know that the Swiss yen was long forever, but we are, hovering towards that daily D extension anyway. But it's kind of just trapped, right? So until we get that break, I don't want to buy it right now. If I get that break below that 164, then we'll be looking for a move to the downside, or that D extension just needs to get hit. It's gonna do what it's gonna do. But I don't have a position anymore on the Swiss yen. So that's that. Moving on, I want to take a look at the Euro Aussie. Euro Aussie, you can see here that we are starting to make that move to the downside, right? We've got a new AB boundary on the daily, and we've got that correction, which is playing right to our 80-20 play on this 4-hour, right? The moves take time. Yes, they do. But we are starting to try to inch and push through. Now, keep in mind, this is a Euro pair, and we've got the ECB data coming out, okay? But the goal is for us to get to this 382 target. Okay, so this 166.67 level is trying to break it. If we break it, then we look for a continuation down to that target. So off that 118 zone right now, off the high, that is down 425 pips. Okay, so we'll let it just keep doing this thing. Your Euro pairs, just monitor them closely. Here we are on the 1 hour, and we are moving down. Oops, escape out of this. So there we are, moving down. That's the target that we're trying to get to. So we are, call it 200 pips away from that 4-hour TP1. Let's continue to see how it plays out. Any questions on the Euro Aussie? No.
No, sir. Patiently waiting.
All right. All right. That's it. That's it. Euro Swissy. We'll take a look at this one. Hey, right. All right. So you can see pairs are starting to make some gains against the Swissy. Okay. So we're trying it, right? We broke trend line. but I'm interested. I want to see it take out the high, right? Because we've been to this level before, except for this time we pushed through the trend line just because of the angle, right? That we're playing the game at. But this one is still right now in play. Mind you, we've got data coming out. So we'll see if we get any surprises there that can strengthen that euro to move long and go to our target. We'll see. But this is an 80-20 that we've had drawn up quite some time, and it's just doing a dance. The Aussie Swiss was like this too, right? And we can see how it's starting to close in on its target. So that's still in play, right? Till that stop is hit, that's still in play for me. Any questions on the Euro Swiss? All right. Euro GBP. We know that we're starting to get some bullish momentum. We'll see if it can maintain itself, right? So we're at a 382 off this 4. Okay, but we've been moving up. And then we can look at it from the 1 hour chart, and we just hit that 118. Okay, so keep an eye on this one because this one should be interesting with the news coming out. Okay, but overall, it's come off the lows and it's starting to push long. So technically, we're in an up retracement zone. So the question becomes: do we accelerate off that 236, right? Get back beyond that B boundary on the data, or does it push price down and we never know with the Euro GBP. So that's that. This Euro JPY, okay, we know from the higher levels we were because we know we hit that monthly D extension. We know price and momentum can start to slow down. And we've kind of said, hey, we've got a bit of a range here and we come into the lows. Do we get the bounce off the low of the range and start to move back up? Or do we break through the lows and break trend line and start to move down, right? We've got a daily stochastic though, that's in the buy zone. And here's where we had this range on this 4 hour. So we can see that gap got filled off the low, okay? Gap got filled off the low and we're moving up, okay? We're moving up. So if we come into this 1 hour fib, okay, we can see how we held, right? And we know it's kind of been all over the place, but look at it holding within our AB boundary. Okay. Holding within our AB boundary. And sometimes when you get, price doing that dance, we know that, oh, I'm long against the yen. So I think I'm gonna hang in there, right? Plus, you've already drawn up your idea that the stop is below the A. You know, if it hits the A, I lose 0.5%, 1%, whatever you're trading at. So you start to get comfortable just sitting in trades and letting them play out. Okay? Sitting in trades and letting them play out. So we got the gap filled. We're moving sideways ahead of the data on this. So let's just continue to see if we push bullish. Should be interesting. Could go either way. I can't call it. So just continue to manage my risk with these euro pairs and see how what the market holds in store for us. Euro USD. Okay. Let's take a look at that. We've got data on both fronts today. So the question, right? Been bearish. So far, we've held this 107.65 level. Okay. So far, we've held this 107.60. Do we stay below it and continue to press down to that target? That's the question. Okay. With the news. If you've been short on this for quite some time, right? That short is still in play. It's held below. It's held below 107.65. Some of you may have already moved your stop. If you pick that up when you're navigating through your charts, you may already, especially with the news, you may have your stop down. Now from above the A, above the C to the highs. Some of you may be running it tight. above that 107 level, since it's holding there, that's cool. See what happens, right? If price moves against you and you get stopped out, guess what? You've locked in, you know, coming off that C, you've already locked in, you know, almost 180 pips, depending on where you get in and how you've been playing this move to the downside. Some of you have been short from way up, you know, up top. So you've had good gains. You've gotten a direction right. Just manage your trade at this point. Okay. So that's the Euro USD. Let's see what happens with the news. Okay. Exxon setup, Exxon Mobil. Okay. It's been a beautiful move, right? We'll take a look at it from the 4, and it just continues to move long. Okay. So once we broke out of that range, look at that, coming off that 786 bottom of the range, and we've just been moving along. So we expect it to eventually move into that target at 122.31 on Exxon. Questions on that? Okay. And just think, we knew fundamentally, Joyce, tell you a little stock. Absolutely. We fundamentally that prior to this move even occurring, that what? Saudi Arabia, this is why we follow it, right? Right, Ryan? Saudi Arabia, this was a while ago, said they're looking to cut output.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Before, right? You saw it coming into the lows, and you had to start thinking, well, they said they're going to cut output. The demand is still there. There's been no drop off in demand. And now you've got multiple entities saying they're going to cut output. Well, that's going to increase price. Right? So you start to say, okay, let me look at my technical levels for potential entry. All right. So that's Exxon. And if we took a look at crude, we can see it's still continuing to push bullish to the point where we're about to hit a de-extension on the okay. Fundamentals and the technicals, right? So we're headed towards that 91. That's oil. All right. Want to take a look at this pound Aussie. Because we know it's moved to the downside over 500 pips, and it is still making its way down. It is still picking up momentum to the downside. Okay, so you got that 192.24 level that is going to come into and test. That's a monthly level. Past resistance becoming future support. All right, so as we work our way down through the charts, you can see we've broken now the trend line, and we're headed to the downside. So when you look at this from the 4-hour play, we are still, right? 1 hour, we already hit a TP1. 4-hour, we still have some room to go to that 382. Larger wave, smaller wave. We have broken that 193.71 level, and look at it still moving. Okay. So we look for pullbacks and continuations. Here we are. So it's through that 1 hour TP1. Let me bring my fibs up here. Okay. Through the 1 hour TP1, most likely going to head to that TP2. And there's that 192.24 right around that level. Price is like a magnet. Right? I mean, these levels are like magnets to price, and it's moving down. Okay. We're moving down. Okay. So it just depends on the type of trader you are, whether you want to be in and out of the market, getting 10, 20 pips at a time, or right, want to learn a little bit about the technicals and the fundamentals and just play the swing game. Trying to catch this. I don't know why I'm doing this. Let me we will just put see what's going on. I was trying to look for where my current down fibs were, but there we are, right here. So this is the current move to the downside. Fib range. So take this off, and I'll just run it down. There we go. So this one's already playing out this ABCD way. We got a 61.84 back. We're headed to that B extension. So I was trying to see if we could catch something on the lower time frame that might be in position, but it's already moving. All right. Any questions on that pound Aussie? That is right. T plus F equals the back. Indeed. All right. So pound NZD. Just moving down. Off that 118. Okay. 4 hour, nowhere near that 382 yet. But off that 118, we're down. Almost 550 pips. Moving down off the correction. Here we are on the one, just tracking the fibs to the downside on the one. We do, right, have, when you run the sub fibs, we do have an AB boundary there, but you can see how that's you won't find a cleaner 80-20 that hit right the top of the zone and it just collapsed. Okay. So we're at TP2. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. So congrats, you know, if you've been able to take these swings. If, right, so what is that out there? 7, 531 to be exact. Okay. So I mean, even if you're trading at 10 cents a pip, right, you just picked up $51, $53. Right? Okay. Didn't punch a clock for that. Right? Just develop those skill set. Pound dollar. Okay, then we're gonna wrap things up for the session. This is the higher time frame move that we were looking at. We spotted that right on the money, right? Moving back down to support. And that's what we're getting, right? We're moving low on our stochastic. What if we come down to the 4? We can see, bang, right off the 118. So we may eventually get TP2 on that. So on the pound dollar off that 118 zone, it's almost 700 pips. Almost 700 pips. Right? I had to do a tally on that. All right, on the potential on a lot of these pound pairs and these euro pairs and these corrections. All right. So that is the pound dollar, ladies and gentlemen. That is all I have today for the session. It's been fun watching all these pairs play out. Just the power of patience, right? That's the ultimate edge. Ryan, anything before we close out?
The only thing that I have, bro, is I am keeping my eyes on kind of everything. I don't know how these strikes are going to impact the market, if they have an impact at all. But at 11:59 today, GM, Ford, Chrysler, Blue Cross Blue Shield will be on strike if they don't have a contract by 11:59 tonight.
Wow.
So at minimum, there could be an impact to data coming out in the future regarding consumer spending, things like that, because their strike pay is only $500 a week. So so while they're on strike, so all what is it, 150, 170,000 UAW workers, they'll be cutting back their spending, right? And what impact does that have on things as we move forward? Also, it then impacts your suppliers. Suppliers will not have work because they're not making vehicles or as many vehicles. So there's some downstream impacts that could come out from a fundamental perspective when it comes to consumer spending and things like that. So I'll keep my eyes on that and seeing how that transpires. Right now, it looks like the strike is inevitable, and then it's just about how long it lasts. So that's what I got my eyes on. Other than that, great session, bro.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I'm with you. And I was watching Larry Summers speak, major economist, and he was saying that he thinks that the pathway is narrow for that soft landing because of some of these things that are going on. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. But you know what? At the end of the day, I know these ABCD waves gonna play out.
They still
That's not
gonna
gonna
move.
change. We're gonna make this money regardless. Have a great day, everybody.
Peace.